Okay, so if we take a look at the next example, the first step when we solve equations or inequalities is to simplify. So because there's parentheses, we're going to take the number that's in front of the parenthesis, which is a -5 here, and we're going to multiply -5 times 1x. Oops. -5 times 1x. So we get -5x here, and then we have -5 times a -2, which is +10. And then I'm going to bring down everything else. Okay? Now we're not done simplifying. We just did the distributive property, but I still see that we can combine like terms on the left side of this symbol. So now we have a 4 plus a -5. So 4 plus -5 is -1. So this makes -1x. Now remember, when there's a 1 in front of an x, you don't need to put this. So you could just write it as -x instead. So you don't need that 1 there. You could just put -x. Okay, now I'm going to put +10. Okay, now I want to highlight the variable, but there's a problem. There's 1 on both sides. You can't have that. So I'm going to go ahead and add x. Add x to both sides, because if I have a -1 and a +1x, this makes 0x. So again, -1x plus 1x, that's why it gets crossed out. It makes 0. Now if I add x here, I have to add x here. But -1 plus 1, this is gone too. So there's no x in this problem. They both went away. So when that happens, you're going to bring down the rest of the problem. So here we have a 10, bring down the inequality and the 6. So when that happens, you bring down the rest of the problem and then you read this. This says 10 is less than 6. No. 10 is not less than 6. No. So that's how I remember, because it's no, it's not correct. There is no solution to this problem. There is no number that can go in for x and make both sides both sides work. The left side less than the right side. So our set builder is going to be empty. There's not going to be anything in there. And then our interval notation, we're not going to have an interval notation. And our graph, you could put whatever numbers you want on the graph, whatever you want. Nothing should be shaded. So the graph is blank. No shading, because all the numbers that are shaded means numbers that can go in for x, and nothing works. It says no solution. Now, when the answer is no solution, you can write no solution. Another way to write no solution is the empty set. So instead of saying no solution, you could say empty set. It means the set is empty. Nothing's inside here. Or the symbol for no solution, it looks like a 0 with a slash through it. So these all mean no solution. So again, how do I know it means no solution? Because the x's go away, and what's left is a false statement. No solution. Okay, now let's try this problem here. So we're going to distribute here. So we have 5 times x is 5x. And then we have 5 times -2 is -10. Then I'm going to bring down the rest of the problem. Then we're going to combine like terms here. So we have 1x plus 5. So that's 6x. And then I'm going to bring down the rest of the problem. And then I'm going to go highlight the variable, but I can't because there's 1 on both sides. We don't ever want that. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. So I'm going to do minus 6x. Oh, same thing that happened over here. The x's zeroed out here. They made 0. They're gone. So when that happens, we're going to bring down this negative 10. We're going to bring down the symbol, and we're going to bring down this 10 here, and you're going to read this. This says negative 10 is less than 10. So is negative 10 is owing $10 mean you have less than if you got 10? Yes, that's true. So there is no x in this problem. So when this is true and there's no x in the problem, it means that every number works. Any number can go in for x. So we call that all real numbers. Now the symbol for that, your textbook doesn't use that until later on in the class, but the symbol for all real numbers is 2 vertical lines with an R like that. That means x can be any number. So this is how you write it in words, and this is the symbol for any number. X can be any number. So in set builder notation, we would write it, I'm going to write it up here because I need more room. X such that x is all real. I'm going to put the pound sign for numbers because I'm running out of room. Interval notation, well, everything works. So put whatever numbers you want on the graph because any number will work. So if you go from the left to the right, it's going infinitely here and infinitely here. So that's the symbol in interval notation for all real numbers. So to recap, when we're solving inequalities, we can get that either the left side, or we can get just the right side, or we could get no answers work, or we can get all the answers work.